Okay, so I'm gonna cover um, do's and don'ts. I will cover the don'ts in this video. I'm gonna cut the video and then I'll cover what you should do, what would be best for you to do. Um, okay, so what you don't want to do. You don't want to touch some of my eye. You don't want to touch your tapers slash plugs that are in your ears if your hands aren't clean. You don't want to mess with them if your hands aren't clean. Messing with them in general is actually good. I'll get more into that later. But you don't want to touch them if your hands aren't clean. You run the risk of getting an ear infection and it getting really ugly really fast. Something else, you don't want to size up too fast. If you size up too fast, you run the risk of getting a blowout or possibly ripping the inside of your earlobes because they're not properly healed all the way and you're continuously stretching them at a faster rate, or at a fast rate at which your ears can't keep up. And then that could be really dangerous or fatal to your ears, and you don't want that. These two kind of go hand in hand, and I'm going to explain how after. Don't sleep with tapers in your ears. People say that they like the way the tapers look better than the plugs that they probably got in the same box. But actually, for your own personal safety, it's actually safer for you to have. See, and this is where the whole the reasoning behind you sizing up your ears comes into play. Regardless as to what the reason is, I don't really care. I'm not here to tell people, oh, don't do this or don't do that, because of your reasoning wise. I'm just here to give you information that could potentially save your life. I know it's really not that serious, but it is at the same time. Now, if you were just the kind of person that are just sizing up your ears, or you just have tapers in your ears because they look cool, I'm sorry, but you're actually at risk for what I'm about to tell you. Also, don't do physical activities, meaning like football, gym if you're in school, or things like of that nature with tapers in your ears. Of the sizes ranging from 14 to, I would say, 4 or 6. Now, the reason why I say that is because somebody a few years back at a school that I used to go to, I'm no longer in high school anymore, at a school I used to go to, he was in gym. He had the little tapers in his ears because he liked the way they looked, and he didn't want to put the plugs in because he didn't like the way they looked. He was more of somebody who wanted to look nice with the tapers in their ears, so he kept them in. He wanted to do gym with them in his ears, and that resulted in him getting hit in the side of his head. And since the smaller size tapers, like I pointed out, they're a lot more pointy and they're a lot more dangerous. The smaller size tapers are pretty much like needle points. So he was in gym, and the taper point went into the back of his head, right behind his earlobe, right here, that soft spot right there. It went in his ear, in the back of his. It went in the back of his head, right there, and it released brain fluid, which later caused him to die. So yeah, you don't want to do that. that 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 whole physical activity incident also falls under when you're sleeping. If you sleep with tapers in your ears, you run the risk of the same thing happening to you while you're sleeping. If you move around in your sleep like I do, you could possibly turn and the same thing can happen. You'll end up putting pressure on your ear and pushing it, depending on how you sleep. If your ear is on your pillow, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not really safe because the pressure that you put on your ear when you're sleeping could push the taper into your ear. I mean, into the back of your head. That little point. It could push it in the back of your head and release the same brain fluid the same way, and you could end up dying in your sleep because of it. Now, this isn't to discourage anybody from sizing up your ears, but maybe change your reasoning for sizing up your ears. Now, again, I'm not trying to change your reasoning, but if you're only doing it just to, I guess you like the way it looks and you want to keep the smaller sizes in your ears, it's dangerous, and I'm just going to let you know. That's why they give you the little plugs, and that is not the only reason why they give you the little plugs, but that is one of the reasons why they give you the little plugs to switch to after you size up. Don't use duct tape, electrical tape, or scotch tape whenever you're sizing up your ears. A reason for that is because when you size up your ears, the healing process that happens, it gets really ugly. The healing process, if you have duct tape, like if you're trying to use the sizing up method with the tape, use Teflon tape or use bondage tape. Those are the two safest ways of sizing up your ear. Now, that was the way I was using. I mean, that was one of the ways that I was sizing up my right ear, as you saw in my last video that I put up, my first video that I put up on the matter of ear stretching. I had my 7/16 clear taper in my right ear with Teflon tape wrapped around it to help stretch up a little bit more gradually, so I could fit in what I have in now, my 1/2-inch plug in my ear. So that's the safest way to do it, is with Teflon tape and not the other tapes. Teflon tape and bondage tape, but not the other tapes. What happens when your ear is healing and you have those other tapes on your plug / taper, whatever it is, while you're sizing up? They're very porous, meaning they have like little holes in them, and the tape to let like air get in there to make I don't know why. Your ear will end up healing to the duct tape or whatever it is, and what happens is when you go to change whatever you have in your ear, you run the possibility of having your earlobe heal to the tape, and you'll end up pulling out chunks of your ear with the taper / plug, and it gets really ugly and really nasty, and you don't want that to happen, because then your ear won't heal up properly and you'll have a chunk missing from your ear. It's very graphic, but it's also it's something that needs to be said so that you don't make the mistake and do it yourself. So yeah, that is the majority of the don'ts. One quick one is, whenever you're sizing up your ears, don't continuously pull out and put back in a taper in your ear. What that does is, really quick, if you see right here, when I push down, how my earlobe goes with the plug, it kind of like pushes it out. That's what causes a blowout. You continuously taking a taper out in and out of your ear, or a plug in and out of your ear, keeps pushing your earlobe out back more and more and more and more. So what happens is you do it too much, and you do it too fast, you actually cause a blowout, and it's really ugly. And that's what happens. And a blowout is pretty much the skin just gets pushed out the back of your ear, and it's like really, like, it looks like a giant, huge, like pimple, like a giant, huge pimple, I don't know how to. I want to like draw it out and just show you, but it's you could probably find it on YouTube if you were to search it up. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this video, and I'm gonna do the do's and helpful hints, hopefully, if I can fit them all in that one video. If not, I'll make another video. So I'm gonna cut this video and make the next video.